I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, great one. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So, like, you women say things and then you get confused. And I forgot what it was. I must have been listening to some video game podcast. The male gaze. And I'm like, and I think we're getting to the point on the internet in 2025 and all, quarter century into a lot of internet, people are starting to realize there's just some miserable people out there. And then contextually, I think we all kind of understood the male gaze where women don't like being objectified. I thought that's what it meant. But man, there's some people that seem really pissed off about men liking women. That's just why I couldn't get. I was like, so I understand if you got like a stalker, a guy staring at you. Wasn't there a nightclub where if you were stared at too long, they could kick you? I understand. There are some creepers. There were some creeps in the dance scene. I get that. You're one of them weirdos. I got it, ladies. But here's another one. You guys don't remember this because they buried it. Go look up Miller Trash. Hang on. Miller Beer taking out the trash. It's a trash compactor. There was Miller Beer. Let's just do woke commercial. Miller Women's History Month woke boycott. 2-month-old. I wish it was something like taking out the trash. And the whole idea was that in the olden times when we were free to do things and your cars didn't nag you to death, there were pinups or they're being modeled. Miller High Life, Miller Beer would put pretty girls next to cars and motorcycles and sports things. We just used beautiful women to advertise the beer and the sports and whatever else because they were advertising towards men. And Miller Beer, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, came out with this commercial like, it's time to take out the trash. And they were literally saying, someone came up with this idea that it was wrong. And of course, you're shallow for the past, for the Miller brand to have calendars or pinups or posters of pretty women in bikinis and PG-13 outfits. And they're saying, send that in. If you happen to have an old 1986 Miller pinup, right? Send that in and we're going to ground it up and create mulch. I'm not kidding. Look this up, guys. Look this up. And we're going to mail it to women-owned hops manufacturers for them to grow. Like, get rid of your shit, I think. I think they even use the word shit like this. Hang on. Let me look it up. Miller Beer, get rid of shit. The slogan of bad news. Man, they've hit it. They hit it off the internet. Look at this. You could find it. The good shit, bad shit, Miller Lite campaign. There you go. They're going to create good shit from bad shit. And basically that was it. The fact you like physically pretty women, that was bad. that was bad. And that's what I presume would be an epitomal example, contextually speaking, of the male gaze. Women do not like being objectified. I believe then I have to assume women don't like it that men find them pretty or attractive physically. Or perhaps you would like that, but we must like you for your incredible philosophical wit and political observations and empirical stoicism. But if I was not wrong, and maybe most everyone else, including women who are healthily insane, if you look at the video games, how they're making women ugly, and there are people shaming video games, a game called Rivals, and the women are attractive in it. So are the men, but they're just complaining about women being good looking. I think the functional understanding of the phrase male gaze is that women really don't like it if you find them physically attractive or that you objectify them, that your primary interest in them is sexual. And not only are they upset, they go so far as to, like, people do things that make me upset, but it's not a morally wrong thing that they do. But tell me if I'm wrong, ladies, it's morally wrong. You get pissed because you open your mouths and you lecture and sermon men and try to shame them, which you've done. Remember, you're just shallow. Why? Because they're like a physically healthy woman. They shame you for finding women sexually attractive. Am I wrong? Right? That not all people out there, right? But that's what the male gaze is. So I want to look it up. So what the heck is the male gaze anyway? And I'm so sorry I did. Because now we're going to 70s baby boomer feminism. It is like you all wonder where Karens came from. There you go. There's your genesis, your epicenter of Karens. It's the Karen factory. Going to go to 70s feminism. And I'm doubly sad I looked it up because I'm going to use Wikipedia, which I know is not factual, right? I know they're biased to the left. I know it's not historically accurate. I know the failings of Wikipedia, but I wanted something that wasn't just a random article or something like that. I kind of wanted a little, at least we all know we may disagree with the measuring stick, but we have a measuring stick, right? So here's the entry on Wikipedia. The problem is, go look, as an example, go look up the 6B movement on Wikipedia. That 6B movement was all out for 15 seconds. And there's a 20-page entry on Wikipedia. And the reason there's a 20-page entry on something that's been out for 15 seconds is because women's studies majors and feminist theory major, whatever, they have nothing else to do. And they just filled the whole fucking thing up with subsections and this and cross references. It's like, dude, I know you got nothing to do better. And here are the male gaze. This entry is an overly detailed and complicated entry. I'm going to read through it anyway, so we get it as much from the horse's mouth as possible. The male gaze. In feminist theory, the male gaze is the act of depicting women and the world in the visual arts and in literature from a masculine heterosexual perspective that presents and represents women as sexual objects for the pleasure of the heterosexual male viewer. And here's what we could do. When I'm reading through this, let me know when I've violated some egregious morality. I've violated some ethical principle here. So you're saying that in works of art, beautiful women were portrayed for the benefit of male sexuality because of men's sexual interest in women. And so the concept was first articulated by British feminist film theorist, holy worthless person, feminist film theorist Laura Mulvey in her 1975 essay, Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema. Hang on, I guess what this gal looks like. Oh, what surprise. She's not smiling in this picture. She's still alive. British feminist theorist, filmmaker, currently a professor. It just not a happy person. She's 83 years old. Congratulations, lady. That's been your life. Let's go back. Mulvey's theory draws on historical precedents such as the depiction of women in European oil paintings from the Renaissance period, where the female form was often idealized and presented from a voyeuristic male perspective. Well, yeah. And I mean, Playboy was out. Was it Playboy? When Playboy come out? 55? Couldn't you use a more modern example? Playboy had been around for 2 decades by this time. It wasn't new. I'm sure. Hang on. Let me look up. Pretty 1975 female advertisement. Let me just see. Yeah, different hairstyle. Here they are. They're all cute. Advertising cigarettes and booze. Oh, things were fun. Look at, they got the bell bombs and the clodhopper shoes. So this was, you didn't have to go back to Renaissance Europe to get this. Present voyeuristic. Art historian John Berger, in his Ways of Seeing 1972, highlighted how traditional Western art positioned women as subjects of male viewers' gazes, reinforcing a patriarchal visual narrative. I have a question. Were women or people prohibited from painting men? Like, isn't the statue of David pretty jacked? Aren't all those, like, if the guy is shirtless or naked, aren't they all ripped, looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh no, the opposite sex might find the opposite sex attractive. Feminists to the rescue. We got to put an end to this shit immediately. Do you know there's hot women calendars around? So my entire question is, so what? Okay, so in the visual and aesthetic presentations of narrative cinema, the male gaze has 3 perspectives. Oh my God. There's 3 perspectives. That of the man behind the camera, that of the male characters within the film's cinematic presentations, and that of the spectator gazing at the image. I guess she was a film major, so yeah. The concept of the gaze was first used by the English art critic John Berger in The Ways of Seeing, which presents analyses of the representation of women as passive objects to be seen and advertising as nude subjects in European art. The feminist intellectual Laura Mulvey applied the concepts of the gaze to critique traditional representation of women in cinema, from which the work emerged the concept and the term of the male gaze. The beauty standards perpetuated by the male gaze, they're not perpetuated. It's what we want. I mean, there might be some research and development like, oh, that's hot. Like heels. They weren't around forever, but somebody invented heels. Like, oh, that's an improvement. We like that. The beauty standards perpetuated by the male gaze have historically sexualized and fetishized Black women due to an attraction to their physical character. What? All right, now we're going into the weeds here. This is what happens when academics get a hold of Wikipedia, but at the same time punish them and excluded their bodies from what? Oh, you know what this is? This is that mandatory intersectionalism where you got to take feminism and minority women, and then everyone's oppressed, right? Okay, all right, I see what you're doing here. All right. The psychoanalytic theories of Sigmund Freud and Jacques Lacan are the foundations where Mulvey developed, and that's the psychology field is really effective nowadays, isn't it? Which Mulvey developed the theory of the male gaze and interpret. How is it a theory? Guys like hot women. What? There's a theory? And explained scopophalia, the primordial wish for pleasurable looking. Oh no, not the primordial wish for pleasurable viewing. Anything but that. Oh, that is satisfied by the cinematic experience. The terms scopophilia and scoptophilia identify both the aesthetic joy and sexual pleasures derived from looking at someone or something. How the fuck do you think humans got around? How do you think we're here? Concerning the psychological applications of functions of the male gaze, the male gaze is conceptually contrasted with the female gaze. Oh, God, that's a whole other video. I didn't know there was such a thing. Well, isn't it your girls like the Chippendales? You hear any guys complaining that you like the Chippendales or you like your bodice rippers? The Harlequin romance shows where there's always a guy with an armband ripping off the bodice of a woman. Not one guy cares. Like, well, yeah, yeah, that guy's good looking. I wish I looked like him. You're right. Gazing at a black female. Criticism. I want to know where it's bad. I think that was just an academic description of it. How portray the male, this is AI. The male gaze is a feminist theory that describes how women are portrayed in media in a way that objectifies them and caters to the desires of men. All right, so look here, let's cut to the chase. Ladies, you're never going to get rid of the male gaze because it's human nature. It's male nature. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it. I think men and some women are getting awfully fucking sick and tired of you. We don't like it that men like us for our body. Too fucking bad. That's how men are programmed. If you got an issue with it, take it up with God or nature or whatever you believe. But I'm for one, I think I speak for all men and a bunch of women who maybe don't hate life. We're getting awfully sick and tired of you feminists getting pissed off that men like what they like. I mean, going so far as to try to shame us into liking fat people. Well, you really believe in that everything's a social construct? You really believe there isn't good biological evolutionary billions of years of different creatures forming and procreating? You really think it's a social construct, man? What they like? And far be it from me to point out that it's not your fucking right to determine what people like. Now, I am sympathetic to women. Like here's where maybe I could find some common ground with feminists. Women are in an unenviable situation that half the population likes them so much. They are. They never ask for it. They're not attracted to the 80%, depending on what statistics you want to use. The majority of men, they're not attracted to the majority of men. Men, again, the little kid that wants to play baseball all the time and you just don't want to play baseball. Like, kid, go the hell away. All right. It's annoying. I get it. You girls didn't ask for it. But hey, guess what? Put on your big girl panties and unfortunately have to accept that it's a fucking natural biological reality. Now, men should, and for the most part, do control it. Try not to bother you too much. Now, half of you bitching and whining because the guys aren't asking us out anymore. And then you got another video. Don't you ever approach. And then the guy's like, fuck it. Video games and prawn. Time to go to Omaha. Why Omaha? Because they grow corn in Nebraska. Oh. But no, I'll tell you, people, feminist ladies, you're going to do what you're going to do no matter what. I'm going to tell you guys, no, there's nothing wrong. There should be no shame with the male gaze. There's nothing wrong for viewing women as sexual objects because in some cases they are. Well, you girls don't view us as sexual. That's not reciprocal. I mean, yes, there's other things. And here, ladies, sit down. Here we go. All right. And you're not going to undo that our primary interest in you is physical. Sorry. Which is the same thing for you girls, at least when it comes to courtship and dating, right? I mean, if you're in business or working on a car, it might be different. But you immediately assess, right? With what is it, like 15 seconds? You know what they're going to. Same thing with guys. We do it to both. We just don't get all offended about like, oh my God, that women are only interested in us physically, physically when it comes to dating and romance. Yeah, our primary interest in women is physical. It's sexual. That's how we're programmed. Again, curse at God or nature, and no, you're not reversing the engineering. I mean, maybe you could. A couple 100,000 years, sure, maybe you could beat it, but then the human race wouldn't get that far. It would cease to exist. But god damn, am I sick and tired of just natural, biological, normal human being. You should be ashamed. You should be, hey, you like that thing, girl. Yeah, shut the fuck up. I think it's about time. There's whatever, Taming of the Shrew, McClintock, and Everly. If John Wayne has enough, and he goes and he hunts Maureen O'Hara down through the town folk and he spanks her. I'm not saying we actually hunt women down through the town and spank them. Watch the movie, but just shut up. I'm trying to think of a natural. It'd be like saying menopause is bad. Oh, you guys, girls, got your menopause. How dare you, you shallow women? No, it's natural human biology. The real evil people are the ones trying to take shit that we got that's just normal, that's hardwired in. What, you gonna get pissed off? I got brown eyes. You gonna get pissed off that I don't know. Some people are left-handed. Sorry, really sorry that men like you so much or the program that way. Awfully sorry. Now we're moving on. And again, stoically, whether women, feminists accept this or not, that's a different issue for you guys, because we could actually do something about it. Not that I don't think most of you were, but don't worry about this male gaze thing. If someone tries to, you just like her, you just sexually objectify. Like, yeah, I kind of do. Yes. Now, if I wanted to get married, I'd be concerned about other things like, is she a good person and all that other stuff to like truly fall in love? But yes, you're goddamn right. My primary interest in that girl over there is sexual. And watch me be a gentleman and not do anything about it. And I'll sit here or politely court or whatever else like that. It's a different world, man. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to get so pissed off if women's primary interest in me was sexual. Now, of course, being a guy, that's every guy's dream. But like, okay, my little nieces back when they were younger always want to play baseball. I like baseball as much as the other, and it wasn't really baseball. It was like a Nerf and kind of a simplified 3-year-old version of baseball. Oh my God, baseball. Uncle Aaron play baseball. Okay, hey, Uncle Aaron just got here. Let Uncle Aaron eat. Let's go play baseball. I would never get pissed. Their interest in playing baseball drastically outstripped my interest in playing baseball. And I go play baseball with them. But never once did I get pissed off at them for them wanting to play baseball with me. You're fucked in the head. There's something wrong with you. Some human being likes an aspect of you. You may not share a counter interest or reciprocal interest in that thing, but by God, can you at least be flattered? Can you like, love you, kid? How about we eat and then we'll go play baseball? And I understand sex is not equivalent to baseball. Anyone can play baseball. I get that. All right. But wow, you're pissed off. Men find women physically attractive. How those bastards. Those rank bastards. We ought to go round them up and put them in prisons. And if they, oh my God, never mind. It's a different thing. Anyway, I looked it up. It's kind of what we thought it was. It's academic, worthless 70s feminist horseshit. And keep on talking, ladies. Like, you are a male gaze. Oh no, I'm normal. I don't understand why the men aren't asking the girls. That's a real Scooby-Doo mystery. Dung is fun. $5. Miller wanted to destroy the past where women were beautiful, thin, and feminism. I remember something in history about book burning. Who did that? It was the people with the funny mustache guy and they had a tick in the right arm. The ironically, the Democrats, the left, claim to hate that group of people, but man, they sure like some of those policies. They're really similar to them. Oh, before I get on to the rest of the super chats, by the way, link below, ladies. Look, you don't like men liking you? Got it. Fine. Have your own personal opinion. It's your choice. There's a book out there called The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. Half the people are forecasted not to get married in 5 years. Half of people in marrying age aren't going to be married no more. I believe it's 1840. And this is a reality. I believe the numbers are going to prove true. I'm going to call it, it's going to be a reality. Half of you young people aren't going to be married in your life. So you better figure out what to live for. That's why I created the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. It's a list of everything in the world that you could do to bring you purpose and meaning outside of the opposite sex. And boys, I recommend you get that too, because half the women aren't going to get married. Well, then half of you by math aren't going to be married if you want to get married. So there you go. So for all you girls all pissed off that men find women attractive, have I got a book for you? And then maybe instead of looking like this miserable Mulvaney gal or whoever the author was or the professor is, who's 83 years old and her profile pictures, surprise, miserable, maybe you might have a smile on your face. Also link below because, oh my God, man, you listen to me. Listen to me. I understand you may be annoyed of men's disproportionate interest in women from a sexual standpoint. I get that. However, there are consequences to demoralizing and shaming men for being biologically programmed the way they are. And I'm not going to connect the dots now, but those dots are connected in the book called A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. This might be fun for some of you. This might be, haha, what was the shirt? Boys are stupid, throw rocks at them. That might be funny. Ooh, edgy. I'm a freshman and I took my feminist studies class and men are such pigs. Oh my God, they're so dumb. They like us. They're so creepy. There are consequences to that. And you may want to read the book called A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy, where I took the Department of, this is not my, this, by the way, this isn't an opinion. This is math. I took the Department of Labor statistics. I backed out all the women from the economy. I backed out men from all the economy, took the production with them. I said, okay, what's left? Oh, and I removed men from the population too. So, it's not like, oh, you got to work twice as hard for people. Anyway. No, I just removed all the men and their labor from the economy and said, what's it look like with you girls there? Oh, shit. You might want to read that book. Because as I point out in later chapters, you may have noticed men are not working as much as they used to. Isn't there like the crisis? Like there's, what was it, 5, 10, 20 million? I don't know how many. Why aren't men working? What you really worry about is not why aren't men working. You should really worry about why are men working so little. But these are numbers and statistics from the Bureau of Economic Analysis and Department of Labor. I don't mean to bore you. But yeah. Gee, I wonder why those wildfires aren't being put out. So what happened? Huh. What if there's consequences to just bothering men? The most petty of things. Wonder if you think there's some kind of, nah. We're not in a vacuum. It's the worst multiverse. We can make choices and it has no effect on reality whatsoever. Verhermos, $2. It's only a problem if you're short and ugly. Yeah, you're not wrong. I do believe though, regardless of how good looking the guy, I mean, yeah, if you're a Chippendales guy, this all goes out the window. I'm saying from a macro society-wide thing, like for example, an obvious and negative consequence of this is we don't have pretty girls in video games anymore. And movies, increasingly so. All right, now that's not the end of the world, but men aren't buying the video games, and a lot of people in Hollywood are getting laid off. There's other reasons. But that's one of the, for all of you in the video game developing industry who are getting laid off, part of the reason you're getting laid off, among many others, is that you made ugly women. Sorry. And you can shame men and tell them they're pig. What's the word? Gooners? They're calling them gooners. I don't know what them. I thought it was like, does it mean like Goonies? Not some other pejorative. If they actually got a name, how dare you men want pretty girls in your video games? Oh, they're not. They're the ones with the money. And you're the one without a job. Trust me, video games are the least of your concerns if you start to demoralize men. That is the least of your concerns. My truth, the king. $5. Men will apologize but about the biological desire when they apologize for desiring tall, fit, wealthy. Yes, you're right. You're right. No apology. Didn't think so. Hashtag bull rings and tattoos. You're absolutely right. Women. Here's the perfect example. I disagree with the guys who are upset that women like taller men. Now, maybe they complain, men complain, like, that's short. Oh, that's sort of. But I think men should get to the point and understand, oh, look, women just like tall guys. That's how they're programmed. Right? We don't go into media and video games and say, make all the men short. We don't shame them. You should like a poor guy who's fat and short. Maybe not to the extent that women do. How dare you like the Chippendales? Yeah, you're looking like, yeah, guy's good looking. Oh, by the way, ladies, hate to spill the beans to you. Having some inside baseball working in Vegas. A lot of those guys don't bat for our team. They bat for the other team. Sorry. Oh, what is it? Yeah, Aaron, perfect mental state. Come on, they'll convince, they'll change them. They think they could get men to like fat chicks. They certainly could convert a gay guy. Yes, but you are right, my truth. It would be as absurd of us as saying, oh, you shouldn't like tall guys. No, they like tall. And guys, if you're pissed off about it, too bad. Get used to it. I'm a shortish guy. Just fine. Women don't like short. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not going to shame them for it. All right, that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.